Hello everyone, you are about to see an awesome show. The 4th grade students of Arredondo created a puppet show from an old Native American fable called How Coyote Brought Fire to the People. They made the set, characters, and props. Enjoy the show.
In the long ago time, human beings were new in the world. With the eyes of children, they observed the workings of the earth. They marveled at how day became night and how night turned back into day. In the springtime, they welcomed the warmth of the sun, and in the summer, they danced in fields of wildflowers. But in the autumn, the humans grew worried. They saw that the days grew shorter and the nights grew longer. In the mornings, frost covered the ground, and tender plants withered and died.
Let's begin golden color, soon the snow will come. You and I are strong. We can survive the hardships of the snow. But I am worried about our baby. He is so very small. I can wrap him in fur and animal skin, but is he strong enough to survive? I too am worried. There are many in the village who are very old. I am afraid that they will suffocate when the snow comes.
At that very moment, Coyote was walking by the village on his way to the woodland grove. He was going to meet his friends, Frog, Chipmunk, and Squirrel. He paused for a moment and listened to the words spoken by man and woman. Coyote was a compassionate animal. When he heard the man and woman talk of the hardships of winter, his heart was moved.
I have never thought much about the coming winter. My fur grows thick and long in the cold months. But these human beings have no one there to protect them from the cold.
Coyote trotted onto the grove. There he met his friends.
I have just come from the village as a human. You went to the village? Sure, just said you know pretty well. And they know nothing about our language. I haven't tried to speak from what they do not understand. The humans are indeed strange. I have been seen as the airfield quarantine at the water for the long term. They seem to be starting at the occupation, but the Lord seems to have left alone. Oh, Frog, I heard the woman speak of the coming snow. She was worried about the young boy, and the man spoke of how the old boy suffered with the cold. Friends, I feel kind of human, but I think I may know how to help you find the people. Do you know of the fire beings on the mountaintop? I have heard stories of the three patient beings. They say they dwell at the top of the highest mountains or in the green light that keeps all through the day and night. The stories are true, but I have been to the mountaintop and I have seen the burning light. It is called fire, and it may help the humans survive the winter. I must find a way to bring fire to the village.
Squirrel, Chipmunk, and Frog knew that Coyote was the cleverest of all the animals, but they were worried about their friend. As Coyote headed off toward the mountain, they decided to follow him. When Coyote neared the camp of the fire beings, he crouched down behind some thick bushes so he wouldn't be detected. He did not know that Chipmunk, Squirrel, and Frog were also hiding nearby. Through the brush, Coyote spotted the fire beings.
Warmth of the fire feels so good, so it won't be winter, but we will stay warm through the long day this night because we don't know the secret of fire. Yes, we don't know the secret.
Darkness fell as Coyote watched two of the fire beings retired to their tents. One stayed up to guard the fire. Hour after hour passed, but still the fire being remained awake by the fire pit. At dawn, the being who had stared into the glowing fire all through the night stood up. It stretched its arms to the sky and yawned. Slowly, it made its way to its tent. Coyote noticed that one of the other tents was shaking. The being inside was waking up, and soon it would emerge to guard the fire. This was the chance Coyote had hoped for. Coyote leaped over the bushes and ran as quickly as he could toward the fire.
What's that noise? What's happening?
The three fire beings jumped from their tents just as Coyote grabbed a bit of the fire.
Soon the humans will know the precious secret of fire, and the young ones and the elders will no longer have to suffer with the cold snow and winter. Catch him, he is on fire.
The three magical beings ran after Coyote. One reached out its hand and grabbed Coyote's tail.
I've got him.
Coyote yelped
Oh!
as the fire being's hand singed the tip of his tail. He flung the fire as far away from him as he could. To this day, the tips of Coyote's tails are as white as ash where the fur was singed. Squirrel saw Coyote throw the fire, and she ran as fast as she could in order to catch it before it hit the ground.
I will fix the fire on my back so I can run more quickly.
Squirrel put the fire on her back and ran as fast as she could. The fire hurt so badly that her tail curled up and back. You may have noticed that Squirrel's tail still curled that same way to this day.
Chipmunk, catch!
Squirrel threw the fire to Chipmunk.
I got it.
As Chipmunk turned to run, a fire being blocked his path.
Not so fast, Steve.
The fire being reached out its hand and tried to grab Chipmunk, but he was too quick. Chipmunk darted away just as the fire being's claws scratched at his back. You may have noticed even today that chipmunks have 3 white stripes down their backs.
No, catch! I got it.
Frog turned to jump away, but a fire being stepped on his tail. Frog pulled with all his might. He pulled until his eyes bulged and his tail tore off. You may have noticed that to this day, frogs still have no tails and their eyes still bulge out of their heads.
Help, what should I do with the fire?
Frog threw the fire to Wood and Wood swallowed it.
Gulp.
The 3 fire beings drew together around Wood, but they did not know how to get the fire out.
Wood pretty much doing back on fire. That is actually ours. Wood pretty wood. Come with us to the mountain top and we will make one of us. Wood pretty wood. We must have the fire. Tell us what you desire and it will be yours.
But Wood had seen how the fire beings had scratched and clawed at the other animals, and he did not trust them. Finally, when the fire beings saw that they could not get the fire out of Wood, they gave up and returned to their mountaintop. But clever Coyote did know how to get the fire out of Wood. He took wood to the village and he showed the human beings how to rub 2 dry sticks together to start a fire. And the people were filled with joy.
However, while our grandparents suffered through a long cold night till winter, when Coyote gets a fire, we can feel the warmth of the sun day and night into summer.
My children will grow and dress and enjoy many and evenings around the glow of the fire.
Coyote watched as the people rejoiced and he was glad. Now I'm going to introduce our cast. First, we will bring in Cesar as the man. Next is Chris as the woman. Then we have Steven as the frog. And Austin as fire being 1. Ariana as fire being 2. And we have Jose as the squirrel. Joni as Coyote. Taylor is chipmunk, fire and wood. And our last fire being over there, Justin. Humans grew worried. They saw that the days grew shorter and the nights grew longer. In the mornings, frost covered the ground and tender plants withered and died.
The nights are getting colder and colder, soon the snow will come.
You and I are strong. We can survive the hardships of the snow, but I am worried about our baby. Please stop.
In the long ago time, human beings were new in the world. With the eyes of children, they observed the workings of the earth. They marveled at how day became night and how night turned back into day. In the springtime, they welcomed the warmth of the sun, and in the summer, they danced in fields of wildflowers. But in the autumn, the humans grew worried. They saw that the days grew shorter and the nights grew longer. To this day.
Check one, catch! Jose!
You're supposed to stop after that.
Oh.